The NeuroDADverse podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse. Yes, hello, welcome back into the NeuroDADverse. I'm Ben, and I'm joined by Dan. Hello, Dan, you all right?
Hello, mate. How you doing? Happy Sunday?
Happy Sunday. We actually did it on a Sunday. Last week we had to cancel because I got my timings wrong. But anyway, we are here on a Sunday. Yeah, I'm good. You? Good Sunday?
Yeah, it's been very chilled,
Nice.
actually. Been enjoying
Love
it. So, looking forward to hearing
Fantastic.
about your week, though.
Cool. Yeah, same. So if you're new here or you listened and forgotten, we are the NeuroDADverse. We're a safe space to share our experiences parenting neurodiverse children. And here's kind of what you're going to hear in this podcast. We are going to try and sum up our week in 3 words. Sometimes we've planned those, sometimes they're off the top of our heads. We'll share our biggest challenge of the week, and then we'll each share our biggest win. We'll get to some comments from you guys. Then we have our look ahead to the week ahead. We will rank our weekly bath time scores with our kids, and there'll be some twists and turns and diversions on the way. So, Dan, your week in 3 words. Did you plan it this week or not?
No, I've just had a pencil face on while you've been running through the menu. 3 words. My week in 3 words. I'm going to go for. I don't want it to sound too samey, but a little bit of frustration, a little bit of progress, and a little bit more sleep.
Hey. Small improvements, small bits of progress, right?
Progress, frustrating, sleep. Yeah, in 3 words:
Okay.
progress, frustration, sleep.
Nice. I hadn't thought about it at all. It's been busy. So I think my week in 3 words is heartwarming, if you can hyphen that, I think.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good one.
uh, God, concerning, but relaxing. So,
Okay, I think
that
yours
last
sounds a bit
one.
more interesting.
well, I think yours sounds more interesting, and that's always the way, isn't it? Because I didn't have your week and you didn't have mine.
That is true.
But I'm mini relaxing because I just spent a couple of days away visiting some friends for the weekend. Just kind of got back like lunchtime after going to Mabel's football this morning. So, and it was just super nice to be a bit more relaxed and a bit more like me time.
Yeah,
which is
that's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, me time is really important. It's well, any parent will know me time is hard to get, but yeah, me time when you can get it, as long as you can use it for the right reasons, sleep or just
Yeah, and also
clear your mind.
super respectful interactions about like how you organize that in your whatever your parenting structure looks like. Okay, cool. So what do you want to do? Challenge or win?
I'll do challenges, I think, first.
Kick off.
To be completely honest with you, I couldn't think of like one massive win or challenge this week. I've had like 3 or 4 small ones that kind of come together, and I can discuss relatively quickly, so everyone can relax. We're not going to go on for 4 hours. But yeah, we're not doing an all day one for charity yet. So firstly, actually, just got to majorly correct myself from the last week's podcast. When you asked me, looking forward to my week ahead, I totally got my week wrong. Okay, so everything I said I was doing this week was not what I ended up doing this week. I ended up having grandparents over because I was actually having a work day. We went to a Sen gym instead of going to Air Extreme, but that will happen another time. So pretty much everything I said last week was completely wrong. Welcome to my potential ADHD rate of thinking.
Yeah, I
So,
know, because I turned up to Air Extreme and you weren't there. I was
oh
bouncing on
no,
my own.
oh no. But yeah, that's going to be a weekend activity. That's not a weekday activity. So I totally got it
Okay.
wrong. I swear I heard Amy say those words, but no. So just to clarify, that my week's been very different. So my challenges. Um, first one, sort of the I don't know if it is ironic or not, but sort of the irony of trying to get Frankie to go along to his send activity day sort of club
Yep.
was actually the humor wasn't lost on me, but it was why the word frustrating come up. Just so because he's under the Children with Disability Forum network, I've got the word wrong
Okay.
again probably.
That's okay.
He then gets access to do like day long activities
Yeah,
or
yeah.
activity clubs basically. So we went on to this club. However, because it's the summer, the site they normally go to, which is in a school, has got building works. Building works, and loud
Ooh.
noises and sudden drilling noises is something that, like a lot of kids on the spectrum or do sensitivity, Frankie is not a lover of that sort of thing. So they said we're actually going to go to the school pretty much the other side of the field, which is a ASD specialized school. They've got some really cool facilities and whatever else, but that we're going to be there. So I was like, okay, I took him along. We haven't been there before, and I was unsure because, again, it's been 50-50. Does he do it? Does he not? We got there. We pulled up a little bit early. The sports hall gym. As we drove around the car park, my mum, his nan, drove us there. I could see that the local council people were making the big old machines to cut the grass, and I was like, oh, okay, let's hope that we can get him in before that. Took me half an hour to get him to get out of the car, to get him into this sports hall to enjoy this day, because we had people cutting grass, we had a road closed with
Yeah.
roadworks,
Yeah.
there was alarms on the road, and both the sites, the site where he was meant to be and the site he was going on, had building works on. So it was just trying to find like a 2-minute window where no one was drilling, no sirens were going off, no vehicles were reversing, and that is incredibly frustrating at the time. I try to mask it really well and be like, "Come on, babe, we can do this. Let's do this." But he basically was just like, "This is new. There's loads of noises going on," and I could completely understand why he wouldn't want to leave the car. But eventually, with one of the sort of his not quite his one-to-one, but the lady that he spends
Like a
most of his
TA,
time with.
yeah?
Yeah, sort of like the TA. Like, there's a lot of them. Obviously, they've got a lot of kids. But eventually, she stood at one side, I got in the other side, and I basically just very slowly moved across the back of the car to get him onto my lap, so he would hug me. Then I could just walk him the short distance to the
So
sports
the
hall.
TA person, support worker came out to the car?
Yes, so what they do generally, they come out and meet you and then take
Oh,
them in,
wow.
because yeah, the idea is that they take them from the car and they bring them back to the car.
Ah,
So yeah, it's a nice little
that's
touch, but
rad.
it also means that I don't necessarily always have to be there. Like
Yeah,
grandparent
yeah,
or a
yeah,
family
yeah,
friend
yeah.
can take him and they bring them to and from. But as it was his first time and I was available, I decided to go. So yeah, I just found that really, really frustrating that you're just like, it's just one of the things that happens in our life. Usually, like whenever we go somewhere, I probably said on a few pods ago, we went to a pub and we ended up leaving after like half an hour. When we first
Yeah.
as soon as we opened the door, a motorbike went past. That startled him. That puts you on the back foot. So it's just the noise sensory, especially in the half terms. You've got lots of people mowing their grass. You've got, there's just
Yeah.
always something, and it just really frustrates me. And I'm like, you lost out on
Right,
half an
right.
hour of like a 5-day activity,
Mm.
a 5-hour activity, because just the environment
But
wasn't quite right.
but tell me this, did Frankie have a good experience in the Zen gym when there?
Yes, we believe so. They
Okay,
they, they do send photos and
cool.
give us updates throughout the day, and they said he's happy, but he's sitting there sort of stimming with chew toy and
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
else.
yeah.
But yeah, he came home and he seemed happy when I went to collect him. It worked the other way. So he didn't want to come out to the car, partly because Nanny had not. I forgot to tell Nanny to open the door because he's a little prince at the moment. He won't leave to get in a vehicle unless the door's already open for him to climb straight in. But also, again, there were still building works happening. So he's consistent. It's not like he doesn't want to start activities. It's just there's a noise and the door wasn't open for me. But yeah, so I believe he enjoyed it, but it's just like
Cool.
really frustrating sometimes that we try to
Yeah,
do all these
you
things. I
can
got there early. I got in there really happy, and through no fault of our own or his own, it's just a bit of a roadblock. And I suppose the other little thing, not making it about me, but this will sort of make it about me. But obviously, I then watched an entire class full of other SEND kids stroll in, pretty much no bother, not reacting to the noise, whatever. I'm like, it just feels like, oh, we're the only one out here doing this. And I didn't feel like that at the time, but thinking back on it, I'm like, obviously, some of the kids, they wear ear defenders.
Yeah,
Frankie's not
yeah,
a fan yet. We're working on it, but we get there. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those sort of like frustrating, isolating moments going, but
Oh, you
then
can
it is what it is. But it's just
you
like, oh,
can you can let yourself off, and I think this is true of from my journey, something I learned a little too late, but I have learned it. Like, you just like let yourself off that frustration.
mhm,
The objective was achieved.
yeah.
He was in the thing doing that. And also the other thing earlier, a few pods ago, we talked about like the mixing desk of faders.
Mhm.
You've got a snapshot of that whole send group of kids, and some of their faders are up, some of the faders are down. You might not necessarily see all those kids. And also, that comparison is just like, doesn't get you anywhere other than, oh,
Yeah, totally. Like you said,
oh,
comparison, the thief of joy. So like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was just thinking about it. It's just like, yeah, no, it didn't take anyone else that long to get in, but that is just that's one of our main
Yeah,
challenges.
yeah.
Frankie will do lots of other things that a lot of those children probably don't do or can't do for
Yeah, yeah.
similar sensory
Again,
reasons.
though,
It just is what it is on the
yeah.
roulette reel of
Transitions, man, so much like history for us just going our own transitions that we're in control of. I'm in control of this car. We've got to a place. If I'm solo parenting, it's been loads and loads of my life going, Mabel, we're just going to wait so where Oscar's calm enough to come out. And a lot of the time that would be like full, like we used to have a big blanket, like bobbly sensory blanket, just full blanket over his head.
Mhm.
As he got older, it was like I used to like wear a big jumper, doesn't he? He would like shove his head underneath my jumper and walk behind me, holding my, which it, and that was frustrating and also embarrassing. Those kind of conflicting emotions that you're like, like other people are sometimes the issue. The send stuff isn't necessarily the issue because you're fully like fine once you get over the embarrassment because you realize. But yeah, but it's yes, transitions for so many reasons, and a lot of those things, most of those things that are making the transition tough are not of your own making or not of parents' own making.
Yeah.
So just let yourself, like, it's easy to say, more difficult to do, and it becomes easier and more easier with experience. You just let yourself off. You go, well, I'm doing all of the process in the car. We
Mhm.
come to this, all of these other things around me. I can't stop them because that's the worst thing you could do. It's just like, would you mind drilling? Stop drilling for a second, and if you could just stop the cars, if you could stop the building work, just so I can get my son in for 30 seconds. It's the worst thing because it would work,
Mhm.
but as that child grows into an adult, the world isn't going to be like
It'll
able to
be
do that.
smaller. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so chipping away at that thing. I'm sad it was challenging. You felt frustrated, but then I imagine there would hopefully some joy with you sitting there watching, like when you picked up.
Yeah, yeah. It was nice to see him not want to leave, and they were all laughing, going, "No, he doesn't want to leave now." I went, "No, that is him. Like he takes a
Yeah, yeah,
while to
yeah,
warm up, and then he's like, I don't want the
yeah. Of
party's not
course,
over for
totally.
me yet." And then we had a very similar instance on Friday when we went to the gym, where we pulled up, but he'd been there before because obviously I knew it was his first time going into this place at this angle, so I thought it might take time. When we went to the gym, which he knows, he then did the same sort of thing. And I went, okay, let's, mum, go park a bit closer, like park as close as you can get in this car park, just temporarily so we can get him out. He didn't want to do it. So then I just got in and did exactly the same thing. I get in the back seat, I slowly move across. So he then has to climb onto my lap because we're literally on top of each other, kind of thing. Then I can hug him, and then at that point he was just like, "Oh, just let me out." And then he just got out and run rounds and went straight in, and we had
Such a
like 3
good.
hours for him.
Oh, and that was after the one that you.
Yeah. So I said I
And
learned
was that
from
the
that
first time you?
experience.
Is that the first time you've done that sliding across thing?
Successfully, yes. I tried it a
Okay.
couple of weeks ago when we tried to do the dentist, and that
Nice.
didn't go great. But yeah, I think
Consistency, mate. It's
yeah,
a really great way to communicate.
yeah. So
Really great way to communicate with
that really helped.
the non-verbal communication. Good, man.
And then and then the only other
Feels like I've dipped into your win as well, but sorry, you're still going
no,
on challenges.
well, yeah, and then the only other bit kind of happened as usually does. Like this morning, I've kind of failed him in what he wanted from me, kind of thing. And I don't normally kind of get squeamish around things, but basically, we were sitting there watching telly. We'd had breakfast. We'd all had breakfast together. I think Amy was upstairs getting ready. We were sitting there. I was just checking some stuff on my laptop, and then he stood up from sitting next to me and stood in front of me. Was staring at me. I was like, "What's wrong, babe?" And I could see him like doing this with his tongue under his mouth. I was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, Open up, let me have a look." And I just saw his front tooth like hanging at like a 45-degree angle. And I'm like, "Oh, baby, your other tooth's coming out." I went, and he was like this, and he wanted to like chew on my finger. And I was like, "All right, well, let's just see this." And he chewed on my finger, and I could just hear this crunch. And I was like, "Oh no, I can't do it. I'm really sorry, babe." I was like, "Let me just go get." Mummy was in the shower, and I was like, "Oh no, like this is really going to hurt. Don't do it." And he's sitting there like trying to get the angle to be able to do it. And I was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Let's just go upstairs and go see mummy." And then Amy was sitting there going, "I'll help you, babe." And then out of nowhere, I went and got medicine, gave him some medicine because I went, "This is going to hurt because he's going to pull it out. It's not going to fall out. It's being pulled." Gave him some medicine. We went upstairs, and then he basically pulled it out and just walked off downstairs. Just left me and Amy up there, and I was like, "Oh, where is it?" I think he swallowed it because he's lost 4 teeth now, I think, but we've only got 1. So he's been out of different places and just come home with teeth, and I'm like, "Oh god."
It's
But
weird.
yeah, we found it on the bathroom floor.
Yeah.
So, but
Nice.
yeah, and I was
They
just
don't
like,
need them.
no, yeah,
Humans are odd. We keep these things. We don't need them. But
well, I
yeah,
just wanted to
it's
know if he
memories, isn't
swallowed
it?
it, but I was just like,
Yeah, totally.
but yeah,
Okay,
so I
mate.
just felt a bit like, "Oh, I'm really, I just couldn't." I just went, "I just know this is going to hurt," but all he wanted from me was just end it now, and I'm like, "But it's going to
Yeah.
hurt more." So that was a little bit of a challenge. I was just like, "I can't really
Well,
do what you want me to do here, pal."
sorry, I dived into discussing your challenges, but I think there were some wins in there as well, which is good. So little wins, little challenges.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I just felt a
Shall
little
I?
bit hopeless for the first time in a little while, just being like, "Oh, I don't know what to
Okay.
do here." But luckily, mummy was in, and we resolved it pretty quickly,
Yeah.
and it hasn't impacted his day, which is what I was worried about. But the medicine
Wow.
obviously will help. So yeah, that was a win, but it was a bit
Yeah.
frustrating as a bit like I just couldn't. I don't know what come over me. I just went, "Oh, cracking teeth cracking," just
Yeah.
didn't do it for me.
Mm,
But yeah,
cool.
they were my
Do you,
challenges.
okay, cool. Do you want me to dive in with challenges too, and then we'll come back around
Yeah,
to
why
wins?
not? Let's end on happy. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so the challenge is depending on who you are, because it wasn't particularly challenging for me because it happened when I was away. But it is the biggest kind of thing that's going on for Oscar at the moment. So I'll give the factual things of what happened, and then I'll dip into the why. Um, it, they were sat out in the garden for like a 20-minute period, just kind of sat. Sometimes they go out in the garden and start kind of like acting out, um, like I think like role playing game D&D type stuff, like stick bow staff type stuff. It's fine.
Nice.
We watched them outside. It's quite nice to see them performing and presenting. But they were just sat apparently with their knees up to their chest, like just kind of sitting there. And they'd also messaged a friend, so the friend's mum phoned Laura and was like, Oscar's outside, bit concerned about them because they'd sent like a voice note to the friend. And then Laura went out to see Oscar, and Oscar went into shot himself in the shed. And then they
Oh,
and they were there, and then Laura kept coming back. She did when I come back, then we'll go upstairs. She came back, I think it's time we get to bed now. And yeah, that was, and then they went to bed, and they have talked it through a little bit. I was just chatting before I came on the pod. And I don't think they were in like a particularly happy place, but it seems to be through whatever that headspace was now. And the message, incidentally, the voice note that Oskar sent was just kind of noises. And so we're kind of categorizing it in that kind of odd stuff that Oskar will do, that is all the stuff that make us think he's would be a really good kind of drama performing arts kid if there wasn't the kind of crippling anxiety of standing up in front of people. Because we had lots of calls, we have had calls before from school, particularly through primary, about the things Oskar was deciding to draw. He has an interest in all kind of myths and fantasy and stuff, which also kind of dips into, I guess you'd call it like occult stuff, but only like through what you would see on like YouTube and gaming, you know? And so that, although that is of a concern to schools because you're not sure what's going on at home, and so they do the safeguarding stuff and that. So becoming a teenager and kind of dealing with some of those, I think it's whatever's going on and understanding themselves and their existence in the world has been a bit challenging. However, they, I guess, regulated themselves to do whatever, but it's a little bit challenging. So we kind of like, as we record, we're right sitting in the middle of, I wonder what's going on for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a bit challenging. And obviously, like I was away, and Laura kind of tapped me into it. And I said, okay, we'll see what happens through the conversations that we have. They're quite happy now. And I said, when I said to Oskar, I said, hi, Oskar, I'm back. They, as a 3, they watched a horror film that was a bit too horror-y in the 15 category. And Laura and Oskar had to watch some funny cat videos to get over it, which is their way of regulating together. But
Fair enough.
And I said that to Oskar, and then Oskar said, something else happened, but we've solved that, so you don't need to know about it. I said, oh, okay. Because I do know about it. There's no point upsetting Oskar in that way. So yeah, we that is a ongoing one. We'll see where that goes, but it's quite challenging because you can't do much about it, and in the
It's
moment,
completely hidden, isn't it? Yeah, you don't know because you can't read minds. Yeah.
But behaviour is communication, so sitting and doing a new thing, sat motionless outside in the garden, you have to kind of work out what's going on, but you can't. And I think this is true of maybe you can't go, what's up? You kind of have to, like I said a few pods ago, get them in a car and take them for a drive. Maybe they start talking, but we will move on. We have communication we can identify, and we know it fits into a thing that other people might go, "Ooh, that's a bit odd for that kid," even given the neurodiversity. Whereas we obviously are going, yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah, it could just be expressing a new emotion, isn't it? It could be anything. It could just be like they stubbed their toe, cut their finger.
Yeah.
It could
entirely
be
have a complete story in their mind that they're playing out, and they're playing a character who happens to feel lost and wants to lock themselves in a shed. I don't think we're quite comfortable going, well, we'll never really know. We just need to safeguard and advocate for Oskar in the best way possible, which is tough because the communication is limited about those kind of deep thoughts.
No, that's interesting.
Well,
no, thanks for sharing. No, that's
it's fun. I don't know where we're going.
And
with
again,
it,
it feels both challenges kind of have elements of win to it as well. So yeah, that's really
I
good.
think we are going to have to stop calling them biggest challenge, and maybe say, what was a challenge of the week? What was a win of the week? Sorry to pull back the curtain and suggest, because actually, most of them are both. I'm learning that most of them are kind of both things. Anyway, enough about that.
Well, it's just it's just it's trying to highlight one as well.
It's also perspective. Sometimes you look at my challenge and go, actually, there's some wins there, and I do similar. But shall we get on to wins since I mentioned them?
Yeah, I definitely feel I've won the week, despite starting off with the challenges, because again, most of those challenges are kind of internally me. Like I had the squeamishness around getting a tooth out, and I was frustrated he couldn't get in. He didn't necessarily care if he quite liked the car, I suppose. So my wins this week, a couple of sort of um big progresses, especially for summer term like communications. So uh Frankie has now found a non-verbal way of communicating with us how and what he wants to watch on YouTube slash Netflix slash Disney slash whatever we are watching. So a few weeks ago, he probably would have said, especially when he was a bit, you know, unsettled and we weren't sleeping that great, I could be watching. We could probably watch 5 seconds of a YouTube video and go through 50 videos in like
Yeah, I remember
2 minutes, and I'm like, babe, what is it? I don't know. So now what we do, I'll demonstrate with my mouse mat here. So he gives me the remote to tell me he wants something. I then slowly scroll over the images like I've always done. I'm like, this one. But he now puts his hand over. And as I scroll, he then lowers his hand to like almost push like the game show button. I want to watch trains. And I go, okay, you want trains? We play trains. He then takes the remote out of my hand, puts it on the side next to us because he's sitting next to me and we watch trains. Then when he doesn't want to watch it anymore, he then gives it to me. I go back, we repeat the process. Oh, you want planes now? So that has been amazing and game changing because now we can have sofa time, chill out time where it isn't getting stressful for him and slightly irritating for me. So that was really good. He's
Amazing.
now worked out how he can do what he does on his iPad when we give him the iPad. We don't do it all the time, but sometimes it helps him sleep.
Yeah, of course.
But obviously he's in full control and he jumps between YouTube Kids and YouTube on my account on YouTube. And he can just click wherever he wants, whenever he wants it. But now we can communicate how we can do that as a family. And he started doing it with Amy as well. I said,
amazing.
Because we kind of like passing ships a little bit in the middle of the week. And I was just like, oh, by the way, Frankie does this thing now where he did it with me last night. And I went, oh, amazing. That's great. So he's sharing that with everyone. So yeah,
Good.
he's got
So good.
Nanny and Grandad over again tomorrow while I do some work. So hopefully I will share that information with them beforehand, but they can act like it's a big surprise. So that was
also
a big win.
Super important to, I mean, you know your setup, but super important to prep that if Frankie doesn't feel comfortable doing that in that way, it can be a different method of communication with different people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like he may do this, but so yeah, but no, that's great.
And we've managed to watch new stuff as well.
Here's a phrase: what intelligence, what cognitive intelligence to have worked out. This is how to communicate that.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
Amazing
I suppose
stuff. Love it.
To us, he doesn't speak our language of English, but to him, we're not speaking his language, whatever that is. I call it Francanese. But yeah, like he's finally like, you understand what I want now. Like finally, we've done this challenge together. So that was a really good win. So now we're able to enjoy TV time a bit more.
Love that.
And then a small progress one, toilet training's been, well, I don't like calling it toilet training, but going to the toilet routine has been so good the last week where I'm just saying, shall we go get changed? And he looks at me and he's like, all right. And he walks straight into the toilet and he lets us do the stuff. He did a 90% of a standing wee in the toilet before the bath the other day. We're like, yes. And then actually yesterday morning, me and Amy were doing a little bit of garden maintenance together, sweeping up the leaves and whatever else and trying to get it ready in case people come over and want to go in the garden. Frankie went in, which isn't, he sometimes goes in and out, he comes in and out. He came in, Amy went and followed him. He then come and found her in the kitchen and took her to the bathroom because he'd already opened the door to tell her, oh, well, I've gone to the toilet and I want you to change me. So that was another sort of big win. And again, all communication based. So
good.
Yeah. And we found a new activity. We managed to go out and we went to the local farm basically, and they have a field full of 7 or 8 different bouncy castles. And once I got him through, again, it took me 40 minutes to get him there because he takes 40 minutes. Yeah, it's like a
farm.
local farm, yeah. Well, it's a stable.
with all of those, with
It's a
all of
working stable, but they have
okay,
like
but
llamas.
lots of lots of unpredictable noises there.
Yeah, so it took.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, as is always the case, entrance is here.
Yeah, yeah.
Inflatables where we want to go is here, but you're not allowed to go through the stables. You have to go all the way around like gate 99 at the airport, all the way around,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
was
yeah.
the challenge. But once we got into this little field
Did
area,
you get
he loved it.
did you and do they provide a map?
No, it's not really.
Okay.
It's not big enough to sort of warrant that. It's
Okay,
literally
fine.
it's about
You could draw, I mean,
50 meters, 100 meters all the way around
yeah.
the edge of the stables. But yeah, he
Sometimes I
loved it.
like getting into this podcast where I just routinely give you tips, but you could draw like your own map of where we need to go. So,
Well,
like,
now
but
I've
it seems
been.
like you, and that's good. I'm wondering if, so do you not think that his audio uh, processing was not like high on the fader that day, or do you think they weren't as dysregulated, perhaps because they're natural sounds? I've asked a question you're not going to know the answer to, but
No,
do you
no,
get
no,
what I'm saying?
no,
It could
no,
be
totally, no,
like
totally.
mechanical noise could be really harsh, but
So
pigs grunting is not
yeah,
as.
yeah. No, it's a really fascinating question. But my understanding and breaking down of it, because I'm sitting there listening to stuff. So it's on a mainish road by a big roundabout. There's a bus lane. So when we were there and we first went down, he can hear and see the buses, which he doesn't mind that noise because he can also see them. So, and he could see that there
Oh
was
yeah,
inflatables on the opposite side of this stable area. But we had to go through a little park bit where there's like swings and climbing frames or whatever. And he went to the edge, but he didn't want to go underneath the sort of like canopy, like the wooden canopy with some plants around. So it just took him time to assimilate that information. There were also loads of cats and lots of like the kids that are the family of the stable. I call it a farm. It's actually a stable,
yeah,
but it does have animals. Like they've made it more of a family thing
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah. Of
go to.
course.
So eventually he went on my shoulders and I walked him round, but he did not like the animals because as soon as they see people, they're all like up on the
Yeah,
trying to break out
great,
because we've got food.
great impression of a random animal. Like it.
So yeah, he was not a fan of like the goats, the llamas, because they all wanted to be. So
Okay.
he just went the longer way round. But once we got there, he really enjoyed himself, and we were
Okay. Cool.
invited there. Another small win. We were invited there earlier in the week by one of my old school friends. But by the time of day they wanted to go because they had other things, Frankie wasn't really vibing leaving. But I asked the questions, where is it? How do I get there? Because I need to know to try and work out how best for me to try and get him there. But now we've been there. We went with some friends and obviously we got driven there in their really like big vehicle, like American sort of like
Oh, nice.
back truck sort of thing. Yeah. Which he
But
loved.
Frankie loved that. Yeah,
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 yeah. So,
Cool.
so like the experience of him getting there was awesome. He was happy enough to. Again, he's not unhappy just walking around the entrance, but then they're like, "You can't go that way." I'm like, "Yes, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
We're getting there." I put the purple, lanyard on just to be like, just give us time, we'll get there. But yeah, he had a great like 3 hours there in the end, and he left when we wanted to leave. So that could be a new activity that we get to do. But again, with all
Oh,
of
rad.
these things, I don't know how long it's going to take us to actually get into the activity. And then once we do that, sometimes the coat can strip too much and you can't do that much
Yeah,
else. So,
doesn't matter.
so yeah, that was the
Doesn't matter.
sort of
Cool.
giving you a little splice of every day of my life this week, I suppose. But one or two
Yeah,
people in
cool.
the DMs did say it'd be nice to hear about more than just particularly one event. So maybe if you liked hearing that,
Oh,
let us know
cool.
more.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves. Well, on to interactions from people in the community, the NeuroDADverses. I've not come up with a tag yet. Sorry. But yeah, super quickly, my biggest win. I mentioned that I'd reached out to a couple of people who Oscar's friends with at school, but they hadn't met up socially outside. We did meet up socially. It was very much me and the parent spoke about what would be appropriate, and they came to meet us. We walked along the beach. They both got an ice cream. We sat and had an ice cream. They walked ahead of us the whole time, just
Mhm.
chatting about whatever sub game on Roblox they were playing and their particular special interests. And I just chatted to the parent and was like, you know, hit it off because, got something in common. And just chatted about how, and that we were both like, it's really just nice that you could just chat and people get it. It was about 45 minutes, if that. Oskar, Laura got ready to come, and Oskar said, Mum, is it okay? I'm so sorry, but is it okay if you don't come? She went, yes, sure, Oskar, no problem. He said, I'm sorry. And then he said, come on, Dad, let's go. Held my hand. We started walking. And Laura was like, she was mouthing, it's fine. I was like, I'll work out what this is. I asked Oskar straight, and they said, well, I will be there with my friend, and they are bringing a parent. So that just makes sense, And I immediately knew too many. You don't want to be outnumbered. I don't know, something like. I was like, yeah, that's fine. You've communicated that to me. I understand exactly what you mean, and it's also not a problem. We're not going to spoil something. So yeah, it was a quite simple win. And it meant that we can now kind of plan and do other things. So the talk is to maybe go and do some roller skating because that's what the other child would like to do. Oscar's never been interested or decided, and with some of their balance and social sensory needs, we shall see whether they want to do that or not. But hey, it was a
That's
big win.
amazing. No, that's amazing. And your kids are probably too. Have you ever seen or watched Bluey, the TV show Bluey? Have you
No,
heard of it?
we are late. We are too old. We're too old for Bluey.
Fair
I would
play.
have
I know.
killed for something like Bluey, but no.
It just reminded me of one of the episodes in there when Bluey makes a friend at the park, and they're like, "Dad, we've got to go out," and the dad's like, "Well, I don't know, like, what do we talk about? Are we going to get along?" And they're just sitting there playing, and you just got two dads sitting there having a conversation, and they end up being really good friends. And that's kind of
Oh,
just
nice.
that's
Yeah.
what I envisioned. It's just like our thing
Yeah,
in
yeah,
common
yeah.
is our two kids. The kids are walking off and have just left us to it. They're like, "What do you
Do
want
you
to
know?
talk about?"
I do feel like it doesn't really, for me, get any easier because you're immediately thinking, "What's this person going to be like?" And I think that's
Mhm,
just like it's the normal, like, oh, who are my kids' friends? Will I get on with their parents? Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. It's fine.
mhm, mhm.
It's just with neurodiverse kids, you kind of have to be because you have to be there to advocate and safeguard them. So you kind of, yeah. But it's once you're there, you're like, yeah, this is fine because the people are just in the same kind of boat as you and they want to try and navigate through it the best they can.
Yeah.
Hence, an example and conversation like that was why we started this. So yeah,
Yeah, and also
Right.
dads, stereotypically is dads don't really talk as much and or like
Yeah,
with other dads,
sorry,
so
it wasn't a dad. Sorry,
oh,
I just
okay,
was
so
front. It was
oh, okay,
mum,
so
but regardless, it's still like it would be the case. But yeah, certainly, yeah,
yes.
good stuff. Sorry, I just need to log into my other screen because I need to see what's next on the menu.
No, that's absolutely fine. Um,
Cool.
no, that's really nice.
Um, all right. Oh yeah. So we had some lovely interactions. Thank you to all of you who are following, listening. We had lots of nice messages about how refreshing it was to hear us be kind of open and honest. I had some, both Dan and I had some direct messages about that it was great that we were doing it. So yeah, and that was good. And as lovely as all that stuff is, we're not going to read all of that out because it would be not part of the pod. But we did have some experiences or an experience shared that we kind of wanted to highlight. Dan, do you want to go through that?
Yeah, I heard from someone in my socials that I new from a few years ago. Just sharing that we put out one of our social clips because yes, we are starting to share some clips of the show on social media now. Bear with us, we get there. Life is busy, but we are getting there. And we shared one of the clips where we were just talking about perfection doesn't exist. Or I think you said perfection doesn't exist, and I was like, yeah, generally it happens about 1% at the time, and you don't really notice it until it gets like
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, yeah.
significant. And someone I know called Joe said that I do this all the time. Thinking back 12 months ago when my son with ASD and PDA was in burnout, didn't want to leave the house or even his bedroom, wasn't eating, just didn't really care for like personal hygiene or anything. It was just a bit of a sort of sad time for them. They now can leave the house. They're even on holiday, so I really hope you're enjoying your holiday and enjoy listening to this pod when you're back. And they're now brushing their teeth and showering a couple times a week. So it's all slow progress, but it's great progress, and
Mm,
they're just really proud of how they are, from where
yep.
they are now to where they come from. And yeah, it's that it is
It's
really challenging at the time, mindset to try and set. I'm having a really bad moment in the back of this car trying to get him in with all the other
yeah,
central that have quite happily made it into their thing, and I had a little bit of work pressure because I've got a lot of deadlines to try and fit in that day, but that's not his fault. And I gave up on that quite quickly and went, look, the more I'm here with him in the moment, the quicker we can find a resolution, which we did. But yes, in three
yeah.
months' time, he might not want to leave the car at all. So I just have to
It's
celebrate the
so
fact that he
it's
left it.
so mad, isn't it? And yeah, and if as I said, if you are listening to this and you share that, thank you so much. Like every single uh parent of a neurodiverse child with those developmental differences thinks this never gonna happen. A thing is never gonna happen. And that's right. Some children will get through to adulthood, maybe being non-verbal or maybe having these sensory issues. But they will all make a bit of progress. And like I was saying with um, Oscar and the school report a few pods ago,
Hmm.
I just kind of dismissed that. And I went, well, no, wait and sit in that and remember and go back and look at a photo, a video. The odd thing is that you kind of feel powerless as well in those moments. You go, well, this is never going to get better and I can't do anything to help this. But that's where thinking about, like, the shepherd engineer, idea is. It's like you're not engineering your child to be this thing at the end of a car thing. You're just shepherding them through life, and they'll pick it up, and they'll learn, and they'll teach you. Um, but in that moment, it doesn't feel like it. So, yeah, that sounds incredible. Incredible little steps.
It could be. I'm actually thinking maybe it's something we do in an episode or two's time. Episode pod conversation. I call it conversations. Maybe in a couple of conversations time, maybe we just do a little bit of a reflection and be like, in the last 6, 12 months, what kind of progress? Because yeah, actually thinking about it, there probably is so much stuff that I don't. I actually found a concept a couple of months ago. I think it was released around the year time, but obviously algorithms work in weird and wonderful ways. It was buy some post-it notes in a glass jar, and every time something good happens, write it down and put it in the jar. Because when something bad happens, you won't realize that this jar full of great stuff has happened. So I'm thinking I'm going to start doing that. But yeah, just to reflect and be, in the last year, how much
Uh,
stuff
so
has
I
actually happened.
so I started about 3 years ago. A friend of mine had been doing it the whole time, but I did a 1 second every day.
Oh, amazing. Yep. I've got the app, but never opened it. Share it with loads of
Um,
people, but don't do it myself.
and when I started it, I said, "Okay, cool, just one rule, no work. I don't film stuff at work."
Hmm.
Um, that slightly softened a little bit as I've been doing it for 13 because sometimes there's um, like a we have a cat that roams around the school, and sometimes I think it's funny to film the 1 second of the cat just wandering into school because I play this narrative in my mind that they're going to school that day, and I wonder what lessons they have. It just makes me giggle. But it going back and going through those makes me go. Sometimes I'll on it quite honestly. I'll sit there and go, I had a really like I'm feeling really low. It's been really rough. It's really tough, challenging week or challenging month or challenging day. And I just put it on and I watch up until like one of the ones I pick one of the years and I just watch it. I'm like, wow, I did all that. Look at the difference in the kids now. So yeah, It's good. Yeah, maybe that's a pod idea. But people are listening to this to get our ideas for future pods. They want to listen to our stuff, and they definitely want to look ahead to the week ahead.
I can't help but feel this is your favourite segment of the whole
My
conversation.
favouritely named segment. Believe me, my favourite is sharing my wins each week and navigating the challenges. But it's my favourite named one, and it also now is developing to be a bit, because I want to ensure that not only do we check and have chat about what's going on and what might be challenging and might be your wins, I also want to make sure that you pick the correct week. So
I wrote it down, I think, so I
good.
can't misquote what is actually happening. So let me have a look.
Well, I'm prepped and ready. So shall I launch
You tell
into
me.
my looking ahead about your week? Do you want me to tell you about your week?
You might get it more correct than I will.
I think Dan will be editing a podcast.
How do you do that?
Wow, there we go. So what do we have? We have a week off school, obviously. So
He's lost his confidence now. He's having a check. He's triple
oh
checking.
no, I know what that is. I was like, I did lose confidence. But it's a thing for me. I'm meeting a friend for lunch tomorrow. Anyway. Yeah, so we have this week we weren't quite able to do the sleepover at Nana's for a variety of reasons, but that will happen this week because Laura and I are going to celebrate our wedding anniversary, a little bit early because of how Laura's shifts land. So they will do that. They will go and do that. So that might be, I'm sure it'll be winning. She'll be challenging.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I won't tell you the amount of years it is. You can do the math yourself, Dan, as you know.
I'll try and work it out.
And yeah, then we're full in the swing of football. So it's football training Tuesday for Mabes, football game on Sunday. They're doing all pre-season bits and bobs. Yeah, and there will be some solo stuff for me because Laura has got shifts Monday, Friday, and then Laura will have some solo because I'm going to the first day of the championship season on Saturday. So yeah, a bit of a kind of broken one. Nothing really booked in specifically for the kids. I think we'll, on those days or when we're solo parenting, we'll just judge the vibe and see if we can do that stuff. So lots of encourage them to do stuff around the house with us. Like, shall we do some gaming? Shall we do some drawing? And we'll see where that one goes. So yeah,
Awesome.
a fun week ahead. I'm interested to know what challenge it throws up.
Fair play. No, that all sounds good. So I believe this is 100% correct. Tomorrow, it's Nanny and Granddad's chill out day while Daddy does some work in the house. I'll be up here, but
Yeah.
they'll be done there. Tuesday, it's me and him day. I haven't made any plans yet, but we also had a really good time this week just having a me and him only day, and that really chilled him out and that helped with his sleep. So maybe I do nothing, but maybe I either ask to do activities, trying to try this farm/stable again, or we just maybe have someone over. Wednesday, he's at the club again. He's also there on Thursday now because we had a slight complication that due to all these building works, one of our dates in 3 weeks' time might not happen. So they said, do you want to do this Thursday instead? So that's a bit of a challenge as well. I never got around to because I'm like, that entire week now, the routine is going to be broken that we've been, I know we've had that chat, but like him getting used to doing that.
Dan? Who's the routine for?
Who's the routine for? So yeah, so he's doing back-to-back days there, and then we're at the gym again on the Friday. All of it is flexible, obviously, but that is the intended plan. So yeah,
Nice.
I'll wing it today and see it and tomorrow and see how he's vibing. But he might just want to chill out with me and do nothing because he's going to be club gym, and then the weekend is, that will be busy. So yeah, that is my week ahead, my actual week ahead.
Okay, good. Hang on, what Air Extreme? Are you going to this
That
bounce house?
we might be doing that on Saturday morning,
Okay.
potentially,
All right.
but we'll see how it goes. It's one
I
of
just
them.
don't. I just don't want to be stood up again. If you're listening to the wondering what this bit is about that I've created in my mind, last week Dan explained that it was going to. It's called Air Extreme, right? It's a. It's a.
Yes, I believe
It's a
it's called it.
bounce.
Oh, I
It's a
called it
bounce
that.
house. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they're called.
yeah.
And I said it sounds amazing. I want to go too. So where? That's why. I was trying to be conscious that this is number 8 of these, and some people might just be dipping into this one and be like, what are they going on about? But hey, maybe that's a clue to go listen to the rest of the pods.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, thank you for that communication that we had before we did bath time scores. Just a lovely little reminder to get in touch in any of the ways that you can on social media or our Gmail. Share something. We are open to any ideas that you might have about the podcast. It's not just for us, although it is great for us, and it's something that I find really, really useful each week. I know you do too, Dan.
Yeah, 100%.
So, weekly bath scores are a little bit complicated because we recorded on a Monday last week, so I gave you last week's score. So I'm going to have to do not applicable,
Ooh.
because I'll finish this pod and we'll go and do bath time. So that's going to help speed up things. So and
So
yeah, so how was your how was bath vibes? Last week you were saying it was quite good and you had as he scrolls up to find the relevant parts of the document.
it was trending
You
upwards.
had
He was starting
yeah,
to do
you
it
had a
again.
7 and he was back into it. You hadn't had to employ emergency messy trains.
No, so update on that. Still no messy trains yet. Trending in the right direction. I think the last bath was yesterday. But yeah, we needed iPad. But we'd been to the stable/farm, so definitely, wanted to try and see if we could get him in to clean out. And he did. He just wanted to watch the iPad because I think he'd had a really good time, so he was just a bit overstimulated. But yeah, he listened, he did well, and then he slept pretty good as well. I think he slept for like 10 hours, or 9 hours,
Oh,
which was amazing.
sweet.
When he does sleep, he can sleep well. So yeah, I'll say it was a 7. Like he got
Well,
in,
that's
he did the thing. He started to lay back in it again. It's more normally he just sort of sits in and lets us wash him, but he was actually starting to get back in the lounge position and looked like he was enjoying it again. So,
all right.
but yeah, but for all we know, it could be this toothache has been playing him up, and he just doesn't feel like getting in the bath. So.
We don't need to investigate it. We had a good
I
win.
know. I always do it. I always do it just to.
It's fine. There's no way to do it. It's just there's just the doing it. The flavor is just sometimes different.
Ooh, like
Okay,
that. I love that.
cool. Well, that is good. So just leaves it for me to round off and remind all of you to perhaps get in touch. Let us know. We are cooking up something. If we maybe get to episode 10, we're thinking we might launch that and do little specials. We know people have got in touch and they would like to perhaps come on and have a conversation from maybe more a kind of educated position, like professionally, about a bunch of send stuff, and we would love that because we would love to learn about as many things, and we think that'll be useful for you guys. So if you're listening or one of those people, please get in touch. We can kind of hook that up. But if you just want to say that you've had a win or a challenge that was similar or different, or you had a different experience, please do get in touch. Let us know. We can reflect on those things. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the 8th cycle of the NeuroDADverse.
Cycle. Sounds like exercise. This is therapy. No,
Yes.
no,
Is exercise therapy? Discuss. No,
discuss.
we don't have to. We don't have time. Good. All
Oh,
right, buddy.
have a
So,
good week, mate.
yeah, you too. And yeah, catch you next week in the NeuroDADverse. That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.